Hey girlies, it's Tara.
And it's Lissy, your favourite FaceTime besties. Well, we better be anyway.
Obviously, welcome to an episode of Navigating Your 20s with us. We hope you enjoy.
And just a reminder, girls, we are absolutely not trained experts.
We are just girlies too, so don't take anything we say as gospel.
So I'm thinking, let's just try and figure out this whole 20s thing together. What do you think, Tara?
I think that's what we're basically doing every day together, babe. So let's get straight into it. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the pod. We have some guests today.
Oh my god. Oh, he's so cute.
We're just, guys, we're multitasking. Don't say we don't work hard for this pod because I got a baby to my left, a dog to my right.
And I'm here just on my own.
Jealous, let's swap. What I want to do is go back to Lissy and have a little debrief today. That's like literally all I want to do.
We are dying for a blank street. Like, we are in desperate need for a blank street.
It's just so unfair. Like, why can we not live closer?
I never go to Blank Street anymore. Like, I can't do it to myself. Like, it makes me sad every time I go.
No, because I'll cry. I'm emotional today. How has your week been? What have you been up to?
My week's been good. It's been quite busy. Just been doing bits and bobs. Oh my god, I got my nails done.
Oh my god, the pearl chrome. They're so nice.
So cute, aren't they? I
feel like that was such a good decision about getting the nude color for all the trips.
So cute. But I got my toes done as well, right? And there's this girl at my nail salon. I normally have the main girl who's really, really good. But yesterday I was really busy and I was getting my nails and my toes done. So my nails was being done by the main person, then my toes was being done by this other girl. And this other girl, I've had her before when I first went for my nails, and she kept cutting my round the bed. And
I remember you telling me about her.
They were bleeding so much. Anyway, she's cut my baby toe. And when I tell you, it is in so much pain. And I've obviously got this bloody festival tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to walk around. I can hardly step foot on it. I also have this blister in the inside of my big toe. And it had burst already. So the skin was just over it. And I normally just leave my blisters. The skin will fall off. She pulled it off. I was sat there and I was like, oh my god, why are you even touching that? Why are you touching that? And then it was my bare flesh. And she was like, put it in the water. And I was like, am I going to catch something?
No, that's actually, you should not. I agree. I always leave my blisters to just heal over. I don't pull the skin off because then it's so raw.
So now I've got a really sore big toe on one foot, a really sore baby toe on the other foot, and I'm wearing my Doc Martens tomorrow, which are they're broken in, so they are fine, but they're heavy, thick boots, and I'm
you need to get the Compeed ones, the really thick,
the padded,
because I honestly, guys, I use those and I swear by them. When you have blisters or a cut and you just don't want it rubbing because they're that thick cushion.
Yeah, anyway, I got more blood tests done yesterday. You'll be proud of me. I didn't actually freak out, which is quite something for myself, to be honest. I feel like I've had so many recently, I may as well be a reoccurring customer. Do you know what I mean?
I am so proud of you because last time, guys, I don't know what episode we were discussing her blood tests in, but it was a whole fiasco. So I am so proud of you.
I know. I feel there was a stage where I just really got myself worked up about blood tests, but yesterday I wasn't even that bad. Because I've had so many recently and I was actually so fine. Basically, guys, I've basically got an underreactive thyroid, which I feel I've never known, I didn't even know what a thyroid was. Do you know what I mean? I actually didn't. And anyway, I had these blood tests taken. They were like, oh, your thyroid's basically slightly underreactive. So I've gone on this prescription. So I needed to then have more blood tests to double check that the prescription was working and whatnot. But the nurse at my local surgery, she's so nice. She's like, oh my god, I've seen you before. I was like, yep, been here a few times. And then she was talking
underreactive thyroid.
And then she also had one, and it made me feel so oh, because I've never heard of anyone. Do you know what I mean? I feel it's not really.
I feel people don't discuss it, but I feel it is actually quite common, for your thyroid to be the issue.
No, 100%. And when the doctor first told me about it, she was saying the symptoms, and I was literally oh my god, this explains so much.
All the weird things that you were is this because of this or this because of that? And it was literally your thyroid being mean.
I know. I was but I think this prescription I have to take for the rest of my life. I was ugh.
It's quite a commitment.
I know. And every morning when you take it, you can't have caffeine for an hour.
That would actually send me into a spiral. I'm having literally caffeine right now in the form of an energy drink.
Oh, I love it. Oh, a ghost.
It's great. It's
Anyway,
delightful.
tell me about your week and tell the pod about something special which happened
Guys,
yesterday.
I'm actually, I can't, I need to leave Colorado. I'm actually running out of Colorado
Running for
because
the
I
hills.
literally have, or, oh, God, this is a problem. I can't even speak. I, like, yesterday, so I went, basically, it was went on a date, then literally got 5 hours sleep. Haven't even had a chance to speak to this week because I was with kids all day yesterday, and I was like, I'm like spiraling because I couldn't like talk to you about it because I was just so busy. Like my phone was not in my hand. And you know when like I almost needed should have just called you in the taxi on the way to my sister's because
Yeah,
I like had too much time to freak
to
out.
overthink it.
Like but I knew this was gonna happen. Basically, guys, he's just perfect. That's
And
I
so,
texted C and I was like, I actually just need to put him in like a suitcase to New York.
but explain the date because if this
Okay.
is an American, this is like an American movie
This is
dream.
all I wanted. And basically, I guys, it's been a rough couple months. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of stuff and a lot of me needing to be here for people and hard to see when people you love are
Yeah,
not thriving. So it's been very taxing. And I like sent the other day just sent me over the edge. Like, you know, when you're just like having one of those days. And I had said to like the girls, I was like, I'm not going on a date. I need to not see him again because I'm gonna fall in love with him. Anyway, then I had a spiral. And then I was like, fuck it. Why am I saying no? I should be having fun. And
it's true.
he was like, I'll come get you tonight. And I was like, no, like I've got to deal with some family stuff. He's like, I'll come get you tomorrow. And he was like, what do you want to do? And I had like briefly told him how much I love that he had a pickup truck because like guys, I had this fantasy and I've had this fantasy for as long as I can remember, like watching all the Yellowstone, like Hannah Montana, all that stuff of just like either going to like a drive-in with like a pickup truck and you're like in the back or
Yeah.
like a picnic or something where you're in the back of the pickup truck with like blankets and food and drinks. Like I don't know why this has always been Tara's fantasy.
It's like a guilty pleasure.
I don't know why. I'm a romance girl. I read romance books. Anyway, so he was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go for dinner? And I was like, well, if we're already going to be potentially be going for like sushi on Saturday and then to the breweries, I was like, I want to like do something. And I was like, I would love to do something with your pickup truck. And he was like, is this you when you were saying before that like you really want to go with like the background? And I was like, yes. So yeah. Guys, I'm also so awkward. Like I honestly can't cope. I was panicking to Lissy because I had no clothes at my mom's. And I was like,
The
what am I gonna
outfit
wear?
slayed though.
Thank you. And I did get really cold, but he did have blankets and fleeces. I was like, you little liar. And he was like, I didn't know it was gonna be so windy. I was like, is this like a play? Anyway, he picked me up after work about like 6, and then we drove up. There's like a viewpoint up by like it's not like high in the mountains, but when you're kind of there's mountains behind and then there's mountains like I don't know how to explain it, guys, but basically it crosses over and it's like really beautiful. Even the mountains from down here are beautiful. Like I cannot express how
Mm,
beautiful Colorado is. Anyway, he brought a cooler and he brought a Yeti, which to me is just so American. Like I felt like I was
that
like
is
in like Hannah Montana. And we had some snacks and he brought me a ready-made margarita.
shut up.
Because I sent him a picture of the one at my sister's that I love. And I was like, I would have drank beer or like whatever you're drinking. And he was like, well, I'm only gonna have one because he was like, I'm driving you. But he was like, I wanted you to be able to like relax. Like, so he got me these ready-made margarita things. I was like, I'm in love with you.
Oh my
And then
god.
he made a bunch of the I'm sorry, she's sneezing. A bunch of the country songs and put them on a playlist for the like date and then was like, I'll send you the link and you can add other ones I send you and you can use it for like your family trip. And I was like,
Sorry, why is this man so thoughtful?
no. And listen, thing Danielle was like, oh, Tori, he's a really good guy. And I was like, and now I'm like seeing everything was perfect. The blankets, the viewpoint, he was so kind. He was asking me about all the family stuff, but not being like too much. And he was actually
Yeah.
just perfect. Like
Shit.
I can't even, you know, when I don't think I've been like this in so long where when a date's too perfect that I actually like physically don't know what to say because I'm like actually panicking.
Like you're speechless.
Like I literally like came home from that date and I was like, this is so like perfect and you don't live where I'm gonna live and I can't fall for you. And like I'm a lover girly. You're literally perfect. He like opened the doors for me. He like made the like little cushions on the thing. He was so fucking perfect. Also, he had like a really cool like distressed hoodie on, and I don't know why that added to the vibe so much, but like it just did. And okay, I'm really hoping my dad actually doesn't listen to this episode or like anyone in my family. Making out under the stars.
Okay, I did not know there was a kiss involved.
It's their second date. Of course I want to fucking kiss the man. However, he was a gentleman and I was like, we need to slow like I was like,
Yeah.
guys, I'm like a born again virgin. It's been so long. And I was like, I don't wanna like I don't wanna like I was like, I don't wanna like do this in the back of the truck. Like I kinda do, but like this is like second date. So
Oh
yeah,
my
anyway, he was
God.
absolutely perfect. And then he was like, he literally was like, do you want to do anything before Saturday? And I was like, I actually like can't. I've got family stuff. But I was like, Saturday, like I'm gonna go get my haircut, and then I'm gonna like be at home till like you come get me. And he was like, well, maybe I could come get you like in the afternoon, and we could like go do some other stuff before sushi and just like have a bit more time. And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, I really want to come to the cabin. I was like, absolutely not. I was like,
He's
you
a keen bean.
no, I don't know if I'm just giving this energy, but anyway, he's perfect, and I guess I actually can't even think about it. Like, it's actually gonna get me like I'm gonna like have a meltdown, and I that's why I like haven't put anything on my story because I'm like terrified. Like, I don't
What the
want people to
fuck are we
know
gonna do?
that I'm
What
a
are we
lover
gonna
girly
do?
now. I don't know.
Like,
He also was like, we should go to Morgan Wallen in like one of the other states. He was like, look, if you leave and like we still want to like hang out, we could like meet in another state. And he was like, how funny would that be? And I was like,
and how about like, is he open to the idea of moving to New York?
no, his job's very much here.
Shit.
So anyway, I'm in love, and that's a problem. And that's all the updates I have for you guys because I'm actually panicking. And Lissy, you can vouch for the fact that I'm panicking for the fact that I've literally been so silent for like
No,
24 hours.
this is actually like this is
Like
a bit
that's
of
when
an
you know I'm in
issue.
my head because I literally was
I
like, I can't even
also
discuss it.
I also know how much you fall for someone, and like this is a problem. Like how you're acting is alarming, to be quite frank.
No, I booked a haircut for this man because I want to impress his friends. That's peak. That's actually like peak. Like Catherine was like, my sister called me out on it. She was like, "Are you booking a haircut because you're gonna see him in the evening?" And I was like,
No.
what? No, like it's for the cabin trip. Like my hair is just a little dead."
Oh my God, you're in love. You're actually in love.
Yeah, no, it's actually from, and I knew this would happen, and I knew it because he was perfect. And he like texted me when when he got home. Like I didn't have to ask to be like, "Let me know when you're home safe." Like he was like, "Hey, like I'm home. Thanks for such a nice night." Also, guys, he got me vegetarian meat, and I know that's not like a big
Oh,
deal to everybody, but like he wanted me to have options
I was
that
about to say
weren't just like cheese and like, do you know what I mean?
the fact that he even thought about it. Do you know what I mean?
I literally was like, you might be the love of my life.
Shit. I'm scared. I'm scared.
No,
I'm
I'm
really
scared.
scared.
Also, he's like so talks really. This guy's is such a green flag for me. But it's actually just an episode about Tara's date now. Please
I
feel
love
free to
it. I
cut
love
this down to like the bare
it.
minimum. But he was so good about like his mom and his sister. He's going
Is
back.
he just got one sister?
So he said he had two, but then he only talks about one.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's like more.
Mm. But the fact that he's got sisters is so good, I think. I think it's
Well,
such
he's
a
going
green
back to visit
flag.
his sister. The sister he keeps talking about has kids, and he was like talking about them. And he was like, "Oh my god, like I'd do anything to have like 2 months with my like niece," and like everything he was saying was such a green flag.
A
And I was
family
just like,
man.
I was like, maybe he's my
Shh.
husband in like 5 years.
I never say no. Do you know what I mean? Like he could
Maybe
be the
it's
one. You might just need your like. You just might need your like New York trip, and then you might even go to New York and be like, actually, I love him and I love Colorado. Let's move.
no, I can't. Don't let me move here.
I
I'm
would also,
more.
I would also like not to be selfish, but I would. I think I would prefer to come to New York than Colorado.
Yeah, me too. But the thing is, guys, I told my sister maybe it's just to show me that like good guys exist. But the issue is that I fall so hard.
True. Don't
I
lose
fall so
hope.
hard.
Maybe this is a sign being like, don't lose hope. Like, there are good guys out there and you do deserve. Maybe this is a sign, like showing that you do deserve this, like a man treating you the way he does. So, like, you shouldn't settle for anything less.
So this is my sister, but maybe it's the universe. The only thing I found, like, well, I don't know if this is a green or a red flag. I guess it depends who you are. He hasn't dated anyone seriously since he was 24,
How old is he?
32.
Mm,
He basically we talked about it, and I was like asking about like exes, and I told him all about mine.
mm.
And he was like, I moved to Colorado, And he was like, I just wanted to focus on me. He was like, I did a lot of relationships in high school and a lot of relationships in college. And he was like, I just kind of wanted to like focus on me and build my career. And he was like, I knew I wasn't sure what state I wanted to live in. And he was like, I didn't really want to like get attached to somebody and then have to do long distance. He was like, that's why me and his college girlfriend broke up because of like long distance. So he was like, I just didn't want to like put myself in that position. And I was like, but he said it in such a like normal way. So I was like, I don't know if
I
that's a red
think,
flag.
no, I think that's a green flag. I think fair play to you. Like you're focusing on yourself and you're not fucking over any other people in the process. I think that's a big green flag.
But he like said it to me and I was like, is that a red
But
flag?
it's also
Anyway,
so mature. Like that's so mature for a boy.
no, everything he gives his aura. And you know what? Danielle's a really good person and her and like she's really mature. So like it wouldn't surprise me for her to be friends with somebody like that. But I just
Mm. This is so intriguing. But then part of me thinks, why does he want to pursue you so much then? Because he doesn't want to fall for someone long distance, but you'll be going long distance.
he knows I'm leaving. I did tell him that. Like when I first met him, I was like, we can go on a date,
Yeah.
but like I am leaving. Um, so like I like and I've very much been like, I'm leaving and I'm not like
Mm,
looking for a relationship.
yeah.
Um, but he did say, guys, this is what happens when you're a lover girly and men are good with their words. He was like, I know that I'm setting myself up to get hurt, but he was like, I don't care because I just really enjoy being around you. And I was like, and he was like, you just are so, and he basically was like showering me with compliments, which could also be love bombing, but he was literally like, you're so like funny. And you're just like, he was like, you strike
Oh,
me as the sort of person who like is just like you just are yourself. And I don't know why that was such a high compliment off like somebody
that
I
is
don't know that well.
actually, that's a
But he was like,
cracking
I feel like
compliment.
comfortable like talking to you. And I was like,
Sorry, but this sounds like 10 out of 10, you know?
no, it was. But you know what? It's gonna be fine because either way I'm going, and if I'm sad, I'm sad. It's fine. However, I finally got like butterflies kissing a man, and I haven't had that in a long time.
I actually think this is the universe being like, there are men out there, you know? And
And
also,
he's like dirty blonde though, guys. Not my
you
type.
going through a tough time, you kind of needed this. Do you know what I mean? Like, you needed this as a booster.
I know and he is really funny. He has like a few tattoos, and I said I wanted to get a tattoo before I leave Colorado. He was like, "Let's just have a day out and get tattoos." I was like, "You know what?
Yes.
Yes, sir." Because I was like, "I do." He was like, "Not matching ones." He was like, "Unless you want to do that." I was like, "That is not funny." I was like, "That's not funny. You're gonna give me anxiety."
No, that would be a red
Um,
flag. That would
yeah,
be a
no,
red
he was
flag.
just joking. He has like I don't like a bunch of tattoos. I haven't explored all of them. I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. And has he explored all of your tattoos? That's the
No,
question.
I actually kept my clothes on. I actually like it's like pretty well behaved.
Dying.
No
I love
guarantees for
this.
Saturday, and I have really cute new outfits that came, and I'll. You know what, guys? We'll put it on the story. I'll show you. You can vote on my outfits. But I've got a
Yes.
bunch of new free people and like Anthropology, and I'm going for like cowgirl but cool.
Stunning. Oh my God, stunning.
And I'll have my hair done and like fresh.
I think cowboy really suits you. Like
Me too.
it really just like resonates with you. Like those like tiered like white maxi skirts, the chunky like belts, the cowboy boots, like the lace. I feel like it really
It's funny you
is
say that
you.
because I literally got a lace white tiered skirt.
I think I've seen that on Free People actually, the maxi one.
No, I got like a. What do you need? Do you want to come sit with me? She's looking at me weird. She's like sick of it and Tara talking about her date. But anyway, yeah, guys, it's fine. I'm actually just FYI when Tara panics and like won't actually acknowledge that she's been on any of these dates and probably will only tell Lissy. That's when you know she's in love because she's panicking.
Stressing out.
No, I am. I already wrote 10 pages in my journal.
Oh my God. No, we don't need to stress. This is fun. This
This I
isn't
can't casually date. We should have known that. It's
Yeah,
Tara.
to be fair, we should have. We should have. But we did. We did know that. We did
I
say
did.
abort mission. We did say abort mission. But then, like, you know, the universe likes to throw different things in, and
You
that's
know what,
okay.
guys? He's got abs. I really don't care. I'm gonna fall in love and then
Oh, does he?
yeah, I can feel it. I didn't take his shirt off,
He's
which
giving
is
like
what's
surfer cowboy.
Yeah, though his hair is quite dirty blonde. I wouldn't say it's like
Okay, so maybe not like bleach, like surfery. Yeah, he's giving
no.
cowboy. He's giving Yellowstone.
But
This is
that's like, but it's
Yellowstone.
just so not like my. I like dark and broody, so like I was very surprised at how taken I am with him.
But maybe you don't. Think of the last guy. He wasn't dark.
I don't want to talk about that. That was a glitch. That wasn't Tara. That wasn't me. We don't actually
No.
acknowledge that. We don't discuss. I actually had like a dream about that the other night about that whole situation, and I like really don't acknowledge that anymore. Like that, I think Cowboy's more my speed.
I agree. I completely agree. It's more your vibe, you know?
I'm gonna go to the breweries on Saturday. Maybe I'll. The only thing I just feel weird about is like having my phone out, but I want like a selfie of us, even for my scrapbook,
You've
and so you can see
got
him.
I need to see
I
a
know,
picture
but
of
like
him.
he like just doesn't take his phone out. Like, guys, this is what I find really awkward about like older men, or also just people
Mm,
who aren't really into their phones.
just like
Is
off social media.
yeah, I don't know why it feels like an ick to me to like take my phone out. I mean, in a way, it was really nice because on Wednesday I literally like I did not touch my phone, which was so
So
nice.
nice. Yeah.
Like that text I sent you was when we were packing up, and I was like, I was kind of hoping you
Yeah.
were awake, and then you weren't, because you get up early enough, and I was like, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. But like he just doesn't ever reach for his phone, and then I feel so awkward on Saturday if we're like in front of all his friends. I don't know what his friends are gonna be like. That will be like a tale.
That will actually, that would be a good, like a big sign. I think people's friends are like really, like it says a lot about them.
I'm nervous.
I'm
Anyway, guys,
excited.
sorry. Feel free to edit a lot of that out. Guys, so sorry. Me and Lizzie actually probably should have debriefed that before I got on, but I
No,
was
I
just
love
like,
it. I love it. This is the whole point.
the
Okay,
pod
so
is gonna really be a part of my marriage one day.
yeah. The lessons we've learned in our 20s. That's this week's episode. The most important lessons that we have learned in our 20s.
Take it away,
So
girl.
far. So
You're
far.
25, so this is like you're halfway through your 20s. What are your first
I'm at the
5
halfway point.
lessons for 5 years in your 20s? Hit me, girl.
Oh my god, yeah, one lesson per year. Okay, my first lesson is do what makes you happy. That sounded really weird. Do what makes you happy and stop trying to please others.
I love
Like,
that.
it's as simple
It's
as
so
that.
simple.
I used to spend my life trying to please others. I was such a people pleaser. Just stop. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
just do what you want to do. If someone, oh yeah, I wrote, choose people who choose you. If someone wants to choose you, they will choose you. If they don't want to choose you, they won't, and you're not meant to be together. You know?
Snaps. Because that is
Like,
so true. This her my niece is looking at me like, and I'm like, listen to the lessons, girl. I
learn
think
it
that
from a young
choosing
age.
choose someone that chooses you or like having them choose you, that's such a good one. I want to write that down.
Like, it's just so important because I'm like, you spend so much. I spent so much of like my younger, like 20s, like early 20s when you're still trying to figure out who you are. And like, I feel so like you kind of feel lost. You're a bit like, who am I? What am I doing? Yada, yada, yada. I completely get it. But like, I just spent so long trying to people please. And it's like, for what? If you're meant to be mates and you want to choose each other as friends, you will be. Like, you don't need to try and please someone just to be like good enough for them. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
I agree because I feel like I did that too with a lot of people. I'd almost like be trying to bend myself
Yeah.
so that they would choose me. But why are you trying to change yourself so that someone does choose you? Like you want someone to choose you for unapologetically you because once you guys get older and you start to have kids, you're long
Mm-hmm.
distance,
Yeah.
you're like life's gonna get in the way. You may not be able to speak all the time. Like you want people that literally want you in their life forever.
Exactly. And I think that is a really good point because obviously school, college, uni, you're with people every day. There's no effort required really to see your
Hmm.
mates because you're just like, you're going to see them anyway. Whereas I think when you do start all going your separate ways and getting on with your life, that's when you really start to see who your real friends are because you make time for each other and the people you don't make time for, they're not going to be your lifelong mate, you know?
No, I agree because like you don't have time in your 20s. Like they say you're so busy, like it's true. Like you don't have a bunch of
No.
free time to go see friends.
Also, when you do have free time, you want to be spending that with friends who fill your cup and who make you
I
happy.
knew you were gonna say that because we love that. We love the fill your cup. We
We
do. I
do.
literally knew you were gonna say that. Right, hit me again. What's your
Okay,
next lesson?
the next one is kind of you know, you could probably think that I'm going to say this. Believe in the universe and always trust the process. Duh, you know. But that's something I've learned in my 20s. Like, I never used to trust. I never even knew the universe existed.
Was
You
about.
know,
You didn't know who she was.
I didn't know what manifesting was. I didn't know any of these things. But believe in the universe, trust the process, and just believe that your life, whatever is meant to happen in your life, will happen in your life. There's no controlling that. Like, whatever is meant to be will be.
I really think if you try and control things, you're just delaying the inevitable.
You are. You really are. Okay, next one. Not every opportunity is meant for you, and that is okay.
Wow.
Might be a tough pill
I
to swallow,
I
but
love that.
yeah, it might be a tough pill to swallow. Like, even with loads of different things. Like, even in the industry we're in, you know, I see people working with a specific brand. I'm like, why did I not get that brand deal? Like, I would love to work with
Yeah.
that. Yada yada. It's not meant to be. Like, every opportunity which is meant for you will eventually happen for you, and if it's not meant for you, it won't, and that is okay.
I feel like that's such a good one for your 20s because I feel like you do like panic and think that like, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that and
Mm-hmm.
like, sorry, my niece having a meltdown in the background. Like you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta like, I want that, and then like,
Yeah,
no, like not everything is meant to be for you. Something might be cool for somebody else, but that probably doesn't align with you. Like,
exactly.
but
And
that's like a weird thing to acknowledge.
there'll also be a reason why that wasn't meant for you. And you've got to believe that there's a reason why it wasn't meant for you, you know?
I feel like people like for those sort of lessons specifically, and the one you said before, I feel like people need to read like some universe books and manifesting books to be able to like
Trust.
really accept those things. I feel like it's hard when you're in them, but I feel like once, I don't know, maybe this isn't for everyone, but I really recommend. I feel like you, especially with your book and friends and like starting
Mm.
your whole process and just like,
It's a whole mindset shift.
yeah. And I feel like you do handle things better when you are in that mindset shift. And like, even if you're not a book
100%.
person, a podcast, but if you learn to like let go of like
Yeah,
the control and then just trust, I feel like you are not enjoying your 20s more, but I feel like it's easier to enjoy all the unknowns and scary things.
100%. And I think it's also easier to not get yourself into like a deep, dark hole, which you could just roly poly into. Do you know what I mean?
I love that. I haven't heard Roly Poly in so long. Um, yeah, I also think, guys, if you ever want to trust the universe, you just need some manifesting. Just DM Lissy,
Yeah, I'll give you some tips. Who do I think I am?
honestly.
Bloody Roxy Nafusai. Is it Nafusai or Nafusi?
I have no idea. I don't
Neither.
know. I don't think I've ever heard her say her last name.
I know, I don't think I've ever said her last name.
But I feel like I haven't heard her be like, "Hi, I'm Roxy."
Roxy
Like,
Nafu. Yeah, I feel like
I
I've
feel like
never.
she's just like Roxy. So like,
Yeah. Hmm. Weird. I'll look that one up. I'll ask
yeah, I'm gonna look that
ChatGPT.
up.
Okay. Your dream life is built on daily choices.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
every
like the one
day.
I did in the 28 thing where I said like the incremental changes, blah blah blah. But
Yeah, every
you are
day.
the
The
queen
smallest
of like
things.
small
Every
habits.
day contributes to life, like long term, short term, everything. You can achieve anything you set your mind to.
We
You
love
know,
it.
really good. This is kind of like life lessons, but also kind of just like positivity. You know.
I agree. You're hitting me with the positivity.
And
I love it.
the last one, which is possibly one of my most important and my most learned, is never compare.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
It is never ever compare. You are
I feel
you.
like
You're on your own journey. It's different to everybody else's. Like, no one else is
I
the
do
same as
feel
you.
like as well, like in social media or if you're working with people that like you are friends with,
Mm-hmm.
that
It's so
comparing can
hard.
be really
And I
bad.
even think just social media in general, you're constantly seeing pictures of people, what people are doing, what people are up to. It's so easy to compare. I see someone on holiday in a certain destination. I'm like, I want to go there. I need to go there. Why am I not there? Do you know what I
I knew
mean?
you were gonna say
I honestly, like, people are going to think I have like an actual like issue with a holiday. Like, I'm not
You
actually
like
that obsessed.
Lizzie could see somebody like win the lottery and she'd be like, eh. She sees somebody like get a dream home like decorated perfectly for kids or somebody on holiday and
Drive a Defender.
she's like, ah, like that's what I want.
No, literally, this man, he was kind of good looking to be fair, which helped. But he drove past me in a Defender, and this Defender, it
Thank
was
you.
an Urban. And if you like intro cars, you'll know what an Urban is. But I'm obsessed. It's like a
You're
modification.
into cars.
Yeah, like I'm into cars. I have no idea. I know. I just want an Urban Defender. So Urban like modify cars and they make them just look so cool. And they do this like modification on a Defender and it looks just so like it's such a meaty car. Like it's so beautiful. Anyway, this man drove past and he was driving like my dream car, and I was
And
like,
he was sexy.
he was, yeah, which just helped with the whole situation, you know. And I just looked at him and I thought, I want that. So
Get
how
you and
how are we
George
gonna
in
get
that
there?
car.
Literally, I've got to. But then George was like, you can't buy a dream car now because otherwise what are you going to work up to? I was like, well, apart from the fact that I can't actually afford it. So no, I shan't be buying my dream car now.
But
He was
also
like,
like George, she could just get another dream car in the future.
it's true.
What's that negative energy about, bruh?
So true. Anyway, they're my 5 points. So you hit me with yours, girl.
One of mine, wait, what's meant for you never pass your trust test in life. Working out even when you can see it. One of mine is very similar to Lissy's. And I just forgot it, guys. My brain is somewhere else today. So basically, one of mine was what's meant for you. I did 28 lessons for 28 and I wrote them and I put them in
Yes,
my Instagram post, and they were like things
I
that I
loved that.
really feel deeply. But one of them is what's meant for you will, so similar to Lissy's, will never pass you, and trust the timing of your timeline. I saw that in a quote,
Yes,
and that like I don't know why that changed my mindset so much, but like not just like trusting the universe, not trusting that it happens, but trusting that you have a different timeline to other people. And like you have to trust that your timeline is yours for a reason. You have to trust that your timeline is just specific to you.
it's true. I think that's actually a really good point because with the whole like, oh, no opportunity will pass you, like, you may see someone doing something now and you're thinking you want it, but it's not to say you're not going to get it just because you don't have it in that it right this second. It might come. You just need to trust the time.
And it might be like because you weren't like something better is coming with it. Like you just honestly, the
Exactly.
amount of times I'm positive, it turns out for the better for me. Like
And then you
when
look
I
back and you're
trust,
like, thank God.
yeah, like thank God I didn't try to move to New York a few years ago with my ex guys. Honestly, trust the timing of your timeline.
Sorry, but actually, I couldn't actually imagine that. I couldn't
Yeah, me
imagine
neither.
it.
Hattie, we're gonna have to use our inside voices because Aunt Tara is filming. I don't know why she's whining, but after I'll take you on a walk. How about that? Yeah, okay. Find one good thing in every like bad day. Like one I think find a
Love.
good thing in every day, but like if you're having a bad day and it's really hard, Hattie, it's really hard to change your mindset. I think just find one good thing about that bad situation and like in it remember that like these small little happy things you take and like maybe you make a positive change in that bad day. It was along the lines of the small incremental changes make the biggest change. So like if you are having a bad day, do one positive thing for yourself or write down one happy thing that happened with a friend and like romanticize that moment, and I guarantee your day won't feel as bad
Yeah,
as it would if you just sunk into your feelings and you were sad. Obviously, some days you're gonna have those days where you're just like, I hate
yeah,
everyone. I have those all the time. But like, try and just have that day, but be like, okay, what good thing happened today? Or like, can I do something that's gonna make me feel positive? Can I ring a friend? Can I go for a
yeah.
walk? Can I go to the gym? Like, even if 23 hours of the day are bad, make 1 hour good. And I promise you, it will be so much easier to get out of the funk.
I love that. That's such a good one.
Thank you. Well, it's tried and trialed, guys. I only know it because I had so many bad days. Okay, love yourself the way you love your friends. Love yourself with like grace,
Such a good one.
understanding, patience. Like I would never, sometimes the way I talk about myself, talk about Lissy that way. Lissy is
It's
like
so
my
true.
bright shining light. I would never talk about her in a bad way. So I'm like, why do I talk about myself? And then
Hmm.
I saw a quote on Pinterest that was like, the relationship with yourself sets the tone for all others. And that like blew my mind.
But it's like what they say, you have to love yourself before you can love someone else. I think that's a really valid point though. Like sometimes the way I'd like, inside, like obviously inside your head, you're criticizing yourself. I would never in a million years say that to my best friend. So why the fuck am I saying that to myself?
Yeah, like imagine you're like turning around, like imagine I'm having a bad day and I'm like, oh God, I look like crap. Like, like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm in my luteal phase and I'm like, I look like absolute crap. Whose face is that? It's not mine.
Yeah.
And
Imagine
like,
me
imagine
going up to you being like, ugh, like what, ugh, look at your face.
I'd be like,
Like you would never. And
or like if you're just
also,
like, oh, you're so stupid. Like you're just having a day and you do something
yeah,
stupid. You're like, oh, you stupid bitch. Like I'm not gonna turn to Lissy and be like, hey, you stupid bitch.
it's so true though. Like it's so true. Like people are so including like we're all guilty of it. People are so mean to yourselves and it's like
Yeah.
for what reason? Because you would never be that mean to anyone you know.
No, I literally like I would never, and I think the way they say love yourself, like the way you love your best friend. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to come say here? The your best friend part is important because like yeah, you can be
Yeah.
I think somebody else, but like if you have a true best friend, like you love them unconditionally, so you would just never say
No.
like
No.
I literally like when I'm here, I'm like oh like everyone here knows who you are, purely because I'm like I love
Oh.
Lizzie, I love Lizzie, like you wouldn't say yeah. So guys, don't treat yourself badly. Is the
It's
moral of
true.
the story. Okay, what's my last one? Okay, there's different parts to this. You won't always understand people's choices or actions towards you, and that's okay, and you have to accept that. And like you won't always get closure. And I think that is one lesson in your 20s that I feel like I continuously see people say is the hardest to
Yes.
accept. And
And
like,
you have experienced that firsthand.
well, yes. Focus your energy on like people that are good to you and like invest your energy is precious, invest it wisely because if you're investing it in people who are treating you badly or you don't understand their actions or their choices and you're putting all this energy into like trying to figure it out or like discuss it with them or and it's just not going anywhere, like the only energy you're wasting is yours
Mm,
because they
it's
probably don't
so
care.
true.
And you
Yeah.
just have to accept that like not everyone's gonna treat you well and sometimes you're not gonna get a reason why. And it might be someone you truly loved. And it is shit. But the moment you choose acceptance, like, hey, this person isn't who I thought, or I guess we're just not supposed to be a part of each other's lives, and focus on all the good you have around instead of drowning in the sad situation.
Yeah.
Booyah, you're off. You're skyrocketing through.
You're gone.
You're gonna have a great life, girl.
You go
You
chase those dreams.
Yeah. Amen, guys. Honestly, all of those are trialed by me. So I went through a lot of
Tried and
pain just for
tested.
you. Just for you. Those are 28-year-old trialed
I
lessons.
think that's really good though. That's a really good point. And it's not one which like I don't like I feel like it's not one you really like automatically think of.
No, because I feel like people are like, oh, like, give it a chance. Or like,
Mm,
no. Someone's
yeah.
treating you badly. You have to accept that. Like,
Yeah. 100%. I love that.
I don't know.
Okay. Are we ready for the FaceTime
Yeah, I'm
therapist?
actually quite excited.
Okay, girlfriend. Hey girls, I'm turning 30 next month and I'm feeling so lost. I still live in a shared flat, I'm single, and I'm in a job I don't really enjoy. I feel like I'm running out of time and I don't know how to get out of this horrible rut I seem to be in. I always thought I would be married with children by now. I am far from it. Please help.
Sorry, that is actually really hard because I hate that
Yeah.
society makes us feel like we're running out of time.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think especially for women and like girls and whatnot, like I feel like you internally feel like you're running out of time. And it's so
Yeah.
hard. Like, how do you overcome that thought? Like, how do you, it's so hard.
I
Like,
feel like the biology one is hard because I feel like they make it feel like you can't have children or like you're running out of time
yeah.
and all of that. And like, I'm not saying this is the answer for everyone, but there's a lot of ways to like delay having children where you could
Mm,
like I saw a woman on TikTok be like, I froze my eggs at 34 because I hadn't met anyone and I knew I wanted to have kids. And she met her husband a couple years later and like they did
yeah.
IVF. Like there are ways around it, but also you could have I've seen women have kids alone, like but also like you might not want to have kids. But I just really feel like there is no age. Like you see, what's that famous quote where it's like Vera Wang made her first wedding dress at 50. Like there's like a bunch of famous people who we look at where like they're the most successful people ever.
Yeah.
They're thriving and they only got their big
Yes.
break at like 50 or
Yeah.
like 45, and it's supposed to remind you that like your life is never running out of time.
Mm, no, definitely not. I think it is really hard though, because I am also, I mean, look, I'm lucky, but like, growing up, I always said, like, I want to be married, I want to have kids by the time, like, I want 2 kids by the time I'm 30. Like, I've always said that. I'm
Yeah.
incredibly lucky that, like, I have found someone who is on the same page. We've been together for like nearly 8 years. Like, it's all happy, happy, whatnot.
No, you are
Um,
lucky. You
but
bitch.
I can't, yeah, you fucking bitch, all right? But I can't imagine how it must feel. Like, I get it to a certain
Yeah.
point because I know that I've always wanted that since I was 5. Do you know what I mean? And then to
Yeah.
get to that point and not have that must be really, really tough. Like, really tough. And I
I
can't,
feel like, guys, I
I
feel like
just,
it is because it is tough. And shh, we're talking about something important right now, Hattie. You won't understand. You're only 2. I feel like it is really hard, but at the same time, and this is easier said than done, guys, but like I always thought when I was younger, and you can ask my parents because you don't know the side of me, but I wanted to like get married and have kids quite young.
mm,
And like I thought like 22, 23. And then I just realized like as it was happening that like things weren't right and
yeah,
like it wasn't the right relationship. I wasn't in the right like country, like all these things. And like it is sometimes scary and I completely feel for you because there's times where I'm like, holy shit, like I'm just moved across the world by myself. I like am moving to a new city. I don't know if I'm gonna be living alone or with friends. I don't have a boyfriend, and I just turned 28. Like it's
yeah.
weird. Like I was like, what? Like 28 sounds so old to me. I had said to Lissy the other day, I was like, it feels old, but then at the same time, the way that I've tried to swap it so that I don't panic and I don't feel like I'm running out of time is, aren't I glad that like I'm not married in a relationship that I settled for, in a job that I settled for, in a life that I settled for.
100%.
So maybe the reason is it's not happening for you yet is because the
It's not
universe
right.
has bigger things for you, and that's what you need to trust. And I
I
would
think,
recommend if you're in a rut, reading some of the books that like Lissy has talked about, like the Good
yeah, the good
Vibes,
vibes, good life.
Good Life one, or like
And
any of these
the let
things.
them theory, like, you need to let go. Like, I know it's hard because I know everyone sets goals, they set things in
Yeah.
their head that they want to happen by a certain time, but I think it is letting go, like letting go of that. It will happen when it is right to happen. And don't get me wrong, if I had it my way, I'd be married at 21 with 4 kids by 30, but like it hasn't quite planned out like that because my darling boyfriend doesn't
Was
want to
like, give me
propose.
no, he was like, give me a chance to graduate uni.
Give
Let's
me
be
a bit of
real.
time.
Yeah, he
But
was
like,
like, give me a chance to like be an adult, and you were like, nah, I
yeah.
think we should have kids.
But like, ideally, I genuinely would have had my first child
Yeah.
a long time ago, but it doesn't work out like that. And like, I am in a long time relationship and it still hasn't worked out like that. So like, you've just got to trust that it will be when it will be. Sarah's on the move.
It's chaos having kids. Where did I put that other headphone? Yeah, I can't remember what you were saying.
Just that, sometimes it doesn't happen when it's not happening, and you've just got to trust the process. I know we sound like a broken record, like, trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. Sometimes you don't want to trust the fucking process, like, fuck the
I
process
do agree. I
sometimes.
feel like when people would tell me when I was dealing with like, the breakup, like, trust the
Trust the
process, and I'd
process.
be
It's like,
like,
oh, shut up. Do you know what I
I don't want to
mean?
hear it. But I feel like one thing I would say is maybe like find other people who are in a similar situation. Or like
Mm-hmm.
our friend Zoe, it's Zoe Hudson on TikTok.
Yes.
She is living alone, single in her like 30s and like living in London. I feel
And
like she does a lot of content on it and it's really like helpful.
she also is a very good example. And I don't think she'd mind me talking about this because she speaks about it herself on TikTok.
Yeah.
But she had a long-term boyfriend and she was stayed in her hometown. They bought a house together and
Hmm.
she realized, actually, that this is not for me. Like, this isn't the guy I want to. She thought she was going to get married, have kids. She was on that path of, like, you know just buying a house, and that path is fine for some people. But she had a realization, fuck, no, this isn't for me. Broke up with him, sold the house, moved to London. She's now in her 30s, thriving, living alone, single, and she is like so grateful for that.
I
And
feel
she
like
was like,
that's like the
I
people
don't
you
want,
need to
yeah, she was
follow
like,
and surround yourself with.
I don't want to settle for something which isn't meant to be. So therefore, you just need to trust that whatever will be,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, thank God I didn't marry my high school sweetheart because he wasn't for me.
It is the hardest thing to accept. I think it's definitely
It's
like,
really tough.
but I feel like if you do surround yourself, like instead of looking and following influencers who are married with kids and like looking at all that,
Mm,
like you need to like if you like are on social media, like follow people who are kind of in a similar situation, and they say all your friends are getting married and having kids, that's super hard. Like maybe see if like you could meet other people who are like kind of similar vibes. I think that always does help is like having people who are in like similar life
Yeah.
situations when you find it hard so that you can resonate with them. Like obviously if I was like, oh my God, I mean I would still talk to you about it, I'd tell you every thought process, but like if I was like, God, I'm turning 30 and I'm single and whatever, and you're there with like your first kid, like it's
Yeah.
hard to
Resonate.
resonate.
But I also think put your energy into things you really stop stressing about things which you can't necessarily control and put your energy into things that you can control, like your career. You know, set yourself
Hmm.
up, and to take the stress away, do like what Tara said, like if you want to freeze your eggs or do this, like do things that will kind of help take that pressure and stress away.
Yeah.
And that's my therapy for today.
But it is hard, guys. We're not
It
ignoring
is.
that,
No,
but
no, 100. It is really tough. And I do really feel for you because there's honestly nothing worse. And I think it's so much more common than what people give off. Like, I think
I
it's
feel like people just
so,
don't discuss it, and like then
they
society makes it
don't.
feel like you're running out of time. Like I feel like it's things like that's why I love following women like badass women in their like 30s who are like haven't like or are just starting to get like married
Yeah.
or like settle down because they're like no, like there's no time frame that
Yeah.
like
But there is
no.
no time frame and there's no rush. And I think it is really easy. Like someone might look at my Instagram, and I even sometimes find this with my friends. They're like, "Oh, like you're doing so great. Like I always like catch up through your stories." Like so, it's like that's so lovely. But like I'm not gonna like don't get me wrong. I try and be as real as I can, but when there's very private stuff which I don't necessarily want to talk about online yet,
Yeah.
then like why like no one else would know that. Do you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
never take it as a face value because you never know what else is going on because people don't share. You know, they might after the experience, but when they're actually going through it, they might not want to share it with everyone, you
No,
know?
I agree. I'm laughing because like if you look at my like stories right now,
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
you just
Exactly.
think
It's so easy to see that and be like, "Oh my god, Tara's having a great time in Colorado." You know? But anyway, juicy secret. Juicy secret for this week.
I'm excited. Is it more food related stuff?
It actually kind of is food related. Not it's not I'll just read it out. This guy I'm seeing is a vegan, and for some reason it's more lying. Oh my god, why are we attracting the liars? Okay, sorry. This guy I'm seeing is a vegan, and for some reason on our first day, I also said that I was. However, I'm not. I'm thinking I may have to become a vegan for life, so he never knew that I lied. I'm thinking just tell him. Or just say that you no longer want to be vegan anymore. That's what I would do.
Guys, why
Stop with
are
the
we getting
lying.
ourselves into these situations?
Just honestly, like we're
However,
attracting the liars.
I feel like that's quite common, that
It
lie.
is
I
like
feel like
especially with
people,
veganism.
yeah, I feel like someone will be like, oh, I'm vegan. And then, like, I remember when I was vegan,
Be
people
like,
would be
oh
like,
me too.
oh, they'd be like, oh, like, yeah, like, I dabble in it. And then they'd, like, have a
Yeah.
red steak the next night. And I'd be like,
Yeah. Whereas when you told me you were vegan, I was like, great, chicken nuggets in the oven.
and they made you sick.
Oh my god, I literally ate raw chicken. Tara fell asleep, and me and your ex decided to cook some food. And this chicken, I don't think your oven was working. To be quite frank, I don't know what, or maybe we forgot to turn the oven on. I don't know.
Put it to the wrong setting because it had, like, different settings. And I think he put it
Yeah,
to, like, grill, not, like, cook.
yeah, and we put these chicken selects in. I was really, really excited. It was at the end of the night. We'd been drinking, whatnot, trying to be kind of good by not going to McDonald's. But anyway, put these chicken selects in the bloody oven. Anyway, they came out of the oven and they were cold. And I was thinking, well, they'll be all right. Anyway, proceeded to eat the whole pack and got home and threw up everywhere. And I was staying at my grandpa's flat. And I was like, oh my God.
I also yelled at her in my drunken stupor for eating chicken nuggets
Oh,
in
yeah.
my
You're
oven.
like, why are you eating chicken nuggets in my flat? I was like, you love
I
it,
was,
really?
it's like, I, like, arose from the
You're like,
bed.
chicken nuggets? I was like, you want one?
I was like, no, thank you. I do feel like that's a common lie though. Like, I do feel like as someone who used to be vegan, I remember people would like say the weirdest
Yeah.
things to me. And
Yeah.
like, I feel like that's just not true.
Yeah,
But
you're
I feel
like,
like you're gonna have to tell him.
I think tell him. I
Unless you want to
think,
commit to the bit.
yeah, that's true. Or just be like, oh, do you know what? I'm actually just going to start dibbling and dabbling with meat. Change your
Like,
mind.
that would just be a bit sus. Maybe you could dabble in like, maybe you could say like, oh, I want to be vegetarian right now. I don't
Yes,
want to be
true.
vegan.
Because
Because
actually,
then
going
your
from
options are,
vegan back to meat is quite a lot.
yeah. So, and you know what? He would know something sus if you went straight for it because you're not supposed to. You're supposed to like
Mm,
ease into it because your
yeah.
stomach adjusts to life without it.
Apart from theirs hasn't because they are not a
Yeah,
vegan.
but then it'd be sus because any vegan
Yeah.
knows that. Because they always say if you're vegan long enough, like you gotta be careful when you
Yeah.
introduce stuff back in your diet. Like that's why I was very slow with introducing fish
Yeah.
back.
You
Like
don't eat
I
meat anymore, do you?
no, no, I don't eat
No.
any meat. I
But fish.
was the biggest meat eater, then went to vegan, then went to vegetarian, then back to vegan, back to
I
vegetarian, back to vegan. And then in London, I went more vegetarian. And then I started dabbling in
yeah.
fish because I missed it. It'd been like 7 years, and one day I woke up and I was like,
I want a prawn.
I, no, literally, I was like, I want like a prawn tempura. It was the
Oh,
weirdest thing. And I went with Joe, and I felt so sorry. I went with my ex. I keep saying his name, but you know what? Everyone knows his name anyway.
I was about to say, I feel like
Um,
we've mentioned his name a few times.
Whatever. All right, Joe, shout out. I think I remember waking up one day and being like, I really want like fish. And I don't know why I felt so
Mm,
guilty about it. It was like the vegan in me. And I was like, I feel so guilty. And he was like, okay, well, let's go to a sushi place because used to love their like prawn because he knew me before I was veggie.
yeah.
And he was like, let's just go. And I remember eating and I didn't tell anybody. And I felt so guilty about it. I don't know why it felt like I was doing something illegal. And then I was like eating fish a little bit for like a month and nobody knew. And then I went for dinner with Judy and Lib and I got prawn. And they were
Mm,
literally looking at me like two heads had grown out the side of my head. And I
that's
was
so
like,
funny.
surprise. So it can be done. You just have to be subtle. So I would say go to be vegetarian, be whatever you
Yeah.
want in the comfort of your home. But around him, just be vegetarian and then say like you're missing another couple months missing fish. If this is your forever husband, I feel
Yeah.
like you're gonna have to stick to the bit because a liar it doesn't look good.
No. No, it actually really doesn't, does it?
No, like what would you do if George had like lied to you about something that was like important to your ethos and then
Yeah, I
like
would be like, excuse me.
what else you lied about, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God, he said, had to, he has to
I'm
do an
scared.
STI test. Because he basically he's got private healthcare with this job, right? Which is just incredible. Like he is
That's
utilizing that private
oh my gosh,
healthcare.
that's so good.
No, it's
Slay
literally
Georgie.
amazing. Like he's utilizing it to the max. Anyway, he's got a really weak bladder. That's all it is. He's got a weak bladder. He needs a wee. Okay. So he calls the doctor and he's like, "Hi, I'm a bit worried. I've got a really weak bladder." Anyway, they were like, "No problem. Come to our thing. We've got an appointment this afternoon." Anyway, it was in the building that he works in, so it was like so ideal. Went
Oh
down
my
to the
gosh.
GP. I know. Went down to the GP, and you know where he works as well, so like quite a
Yeah.
cool surgery. Went down to the GP and they were like, did some tests, like weed and a pot, whatever. Sorry, it's so TMI. Hopefully he doesn't mind. Anyway, they were like, basically like, nothing's wrong with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are fine, but we'll just like you can go and get a scan. And he was like, okay, well, may as well because it's private healthcare, so it's free. Do you know what I mean? Like insurance. So anyway, he's had to do the scan, but before the scan, he has to do like it's just like a regular thing to do an STI test.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
he just you know. So he's had to do this STI test, which is just hilarious because like obviously we've been together for 8 years, and I said to him, I was like, actually imagine if that came back with something. Like I would literally be like, you've cheated, and he was like, yeah, but I know I haven't cheated, so therefore I question you. And I was like, yeah, but I haven't cheated, and I know I haven't cheated, so therefore I would be questioning you. And then we were like, oh my God,
Guys, this happy
imagine.
relationship might be ending soon.
It's crumbling. I was like,
No, but you know
actually
that
imagine.
people can carry it for years.
That's what I said. Because I actually did an STI test when I got back from traveling because kind of sounds dodge to be honest. But I had never done an STI test in my life, right? Like never done one. I had a
Yeah.
boyfriend previously to George. And I got back from traveling and I don't know why, but I kept having dreams that I'd caught chlamydia from the pools, like in the hostels. And I was like, I need to do a test. I was like, I've never done one for one. I could have picked something up from my previous partner. I could have,
Yeah.
like, he could have cheated. Like, who knows? Anyway, so I did an STI test. Obviously, it was negative. But yeah, crazy.
You know what? I feel like that is like I had to take a bunch when I had like some stuff in Liverpool. And
Mm,
I remember thinking, like, I was with my ex at the time and I thought, Well, like, if I test positive, like,
I know.
did
And it's
I have it
weird.
before I got with him, or did he give it to me and I didn't know? So I regularly test now.
That's a good one. That is really good.
I
To be
tested
fair,
after Joe, um,
mm,
just to make
yeah,
sure that I was like clean, so that I could like go into a new thing and know that I didn't bring it from,
anyone else?
yeah, to feel like concrete in my head.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I guess it depends on your situation. I know that I was clean and I've obviously not slept with any. I know that I was clean since I've been with George and I've
Mhm.
obviously slept with no one else. So
I'm
if he
quite
comes back
intrigued.
positive, but it's weird because it's like one of those things where it's like you both know you haven't done anything. Because he even said, I was like, if that's positive, I would actually be confused because I actually really do trust him. Like if he was like, I
Yeah, I
genuinely
trust him too.
have not treated, like if he, like it came back as positive and he
When
was
would
like,
he have?
I have not cheated, then I would be like,
Yeah,
genuinely, how has this happened? Like, I would be so intrigued. I wouldn't even question him because if it was to come back positive and he had cheated, do you know what I mean? Hands up, just say you fucking cheated at this point.
yeah.
But if he was to say I haven't, I would genuinely trust him, and therefore I'd be
I
like,
trust him
so
too. I
how
don't
does this
think.
happen? Yeah, he was like, when would I even have time? And I was like, well, you make time if you want to.
No, I feel like I really like George. I don't know how to describe. Like, I wish the pod. Maybe we should get him on the pod one day
Oh
because
my
I
god,
feel like I
imagine.
don't know
He
how to
just,
describe that. He just would.
yeah, he just wouldn't.
He's just a like. Not that there's a type that cheats, but like
Mm, he just doesn't
he
give off that
just
energy.
he just would. If he didn't want to be with you, he just wouldn't be with you.
Yeah,
Is the
he
type of
wouldn't be
person he
bothered.
is.
He wouldn't be
Yeah,
bothered to keep up the facade.
yeah. Like I feel
He'd
like
be
that's
like,
exactly. He'd be like, oh, I don't want to be with you anymore. Like
no,
I genuinely
yeah.
believe if George was like didn't want to marry Lissy, like he would have just been like, "Mm,
Oh, he would have gone long ago because I've made it
yeah.
very clear I want to get married and have kids. He's had multiple chances
What?
to run for the hills.
Yeah, there's a few times I've turned up at the house and been like, so when are you proposing? And he's like, oh
Thing is,
fuck.
it
I'm
doesn't even
like,
phase him now. He's just like, oh,
yeah.
like none of your fucking business. I'm like, Faz, well, do it soon.
Yeah, well, I actually did speak to him before I left, and I was like, look, like, you're just gonna have to give me, like, you don't have to tell me when it is. You don't have to give me the details if you want it between you and Lissy, but, like, I'm just gonna need, like, a heads up of when I should be planning to fly home.
Yeah,
I was
just
like,
you know,
if, I said to him, I was like, I'm kind of not gonna forgive you if you, like, do it at a time where, like, I then can't fly back.
yeah, it'd be fucking rude.
So I was like, you kind of just need to, like, let me in on a little.
A little something, something.
I said the same to Eve's boyfriend. I was like, guys, like you
Mm,
guys are probably the ones that are probably gonna be getting engaged next. And like I just need some time to know when I need to fly home. I don't want to miss
I
anything, and
completely
I'll never forgive him.
agree. No, it's true.
So also, who am I gonna tell over here?
True.
What, my sister? She's not gonna ruin the surprise.
Imagine get a private message from your sister. By the way, I'd be like, okay, questionable
Anyway,
behaviour, but not
guys.
tomorrow. Wow, that was a great episode. I loved it.
I do feel like that was a little FaceTime, and that's exactly the vibe
That is the exact vibe that we're giving. So
that
smash the
we wanted to
assignment.
give. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
loved it. Thanks so much for listening, guys.
We'll see you next week for I don't think we've
I think
decided that.
no, I think we need to plan that one. But
Yeah.
we'll come with something fun. And we've got another date update from after this weekend.
No, guys, because I'm actually gonna
And
panic.
I'll have my festival update.
We're gonna have a good update next week.
Well, thanks so much for listening and see you guys next week.
Au revoir.
Goodbye for now.